What's up, you Washington football maniacs? Welcome back. It is your co-host, myself, Brandon Scott, and my guy, Greg Sykes. Today, we are going to go over a couple of modern moves, and this is going to be a really quick show today, but we're going to hit day one and day two of training camp and two central figures who are looking pretty good so far. So before we get into training camp, because today is day two officially of training camp, I know everybody's excited. The season is coming up and it's ready. It's about that time. So I know I'm excited. I know Greg is definitely excited. So
Yes.
so a couple of minor moves real quick. We actually released Andrew Norwell and we signed Byron Pringle, wide receiver from the Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, he has a chemistry and that working relationship with our new offensive coordinator, Eric Bieniemy. But looking at Andrew Norwell, this is I don't know how significant, but it is a hit to the offensive line. So how worried are you about the offensive line going forward this season?
Um, there's going to be some question marks because we're going to have some new faces there on the offensive line, but I think we made some really good moves during this offseason. Signing a guy who has position flex. Ron Rivera loves that phrase so much. Someone who can play guard and center. Obviously, I think we're going to need that depending on just the issues we had having a warm body at center last year. So, having a guy like that, just overall bringing in some of these new guys, there's a lot of question marks. With Norwell, though, honestly, I'm not too sad to see him leave. I don't think that he really, he was not going to be the replacement that we had hoped. We're trading one Pro Bowler for the next. And, I really missed Brendan Sheriff. I really felt that he added a lot more to that offensive line than probably what a lot of people had given him credit for. And that was a big loss for us. Now, I know that Norwell played on the other side of the line, on the left side, I believe, a lot of times, but still, I don't know. I just remembered him really causing a lot of penalties and just I wasn't very impressed by him, honestly. So I felt like, we could do a lot better putting in some younger guys. We still have some guys that have developed. Steve Charles and people like that. Let's see what these guys can do. At this point, they should be ready to play. They should be ready to start. But as always, you always feel like have the Washington Commanders done enough? They definitely made some moves and some changes, but has it been enough? That's really going to be the big question mark.
Yeah, it really rings true to the phrase, you don't know which loss is gone. Looking at the offensive line that we had, Brandon Scherf, Trent Williams, it just shows you that, wow, we really let go of some good linemen because, man, I mean, we made some, I guess, decent additions. Nick Gates, what was it, Wiley from Kansas City, bringing over Cosme to, I believe, right guard. But, Charles Leno, he didn't have his best year last year. He definitely, age is catching up to him a little bit. And I definitely believe that, next year, I don't care if they spend a first round pick, it needs to be on a left tackle. We need a left tackle. So I definitely think that needs to be the emphasis, if not round one, round two, because we definitely need an anchor for this line. But I guess the one thing, I mean, I'm slightly worried, but I'll say this: if we were still rolling with Carson Wentz, or I'm not gonna say Heineke because Heineke has wheels on him, but if we had a guy who's a pocket guy, I would be a little worried, especially Carson Wentz because he was just a statue last year. But the fact that Sam Howell can extend plays with his legs, he reminds me of Heineke with an arm. That was the one deficiency that Heineke just didn't have, was that arm. Didn't have any arm power, lacked accuracy, but he had heart, man, and he had the ability to extend plays. I think the first time I saw Sam Howell was with that preseason game against last year versus the Carolina Panthers, and his vision as a runner. He has vision like a running back. I was very impressed with his wills, his instincts. His arm is a rocket arm. He's got accuracy. So I think with his ability to kind of stretch plays, I think it's going to help him out. It's not to say that he's not going to be running for his life. I mean, he's definitely going to be running for his life a little bit. But I think, the fact that he can use his legs and that football IQ really shows, I think we'll be all right. But offensive line is definitely something that we have to shore up within the next couple of years, man. So we're gonna go into training camp. Today is day 2 of training camp. So looking at day 1 real quick, Sam Howell impressed. Obviously, there was no pads, but his accuracy, his poise, the fact that he's taking charge, um, he's really starting to get a grasp of that number 1 job. And of course, day 2 today, Scary Terry does what Scary Terry does. Wide receiver 1 numbers, or not numbers, but performance. But De'Ami Brown, he looked really, really good today. He cut a couple of nice catches. So looking at these two former teammates at North Carolina, Sam Howell and De'Ami Brown, how key is their chemistry going towards the regular season?
Well, I'm not surprised that there is chemistry, because obviously they played with each other at Duke. So I think this could be something that could be a very positive thing for De'Ami Brown. Having a quarterback who knows his tendencies could really bring out the best in him. And so, I think that this could be really bode well for De'Ami Brown. um, as far as what does this mean going into training camp, going into preseason? Well, I think it gives De'Ami Brown a huge opportunity that he's got to be able to take because the wide receiving core is just really loaded right now. I mean, when you think about it, you got John Dotson, Terry McLaurin, you got oh god,
No,
Curtis
Kurt,
Samuel.
there you go.
It's a full day work, man. And then you got, was it Dax Millen? We still have him. We're signing receivers. And I'm sure that I'm leaving a lot of other receivers out, but I mean, I feel like we have like 15 receivers on our team. And, you know, I really would like for De'Ami Brown to get a spot on this team, if he's the fourth receiver or whatever, because that could really that's just that just really opens up the offense. Maybe you have some four wide receiver spreads, and you got Brown being a speeder, the speedster just just down the field there, and so um, I really think that he could be a magnificent player in this league, and I think this is his best opportunity is to be able to play with a quarterback they played with in college. So to me, he's got to be able to take advantage of this opportunity, and if he doesn't, it's it's curtains for him.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, real quick, you did the Cardinals Center Carolina, man. You call Tar Heels Blue Devils, man, because they both with the
Oh, I
UNC.
did.
But it's all good, man. The
Oh
only reason I know
man.
that, man, is because my wife is from Charlotte and she's a Tar Heels fan. So anything that has to do with Duke is kind of like she shuns it. So, but
Oh,
I agree with you. The fact that they have that camaraderie, that chemistry going back to UNC, man, because they look good in UNC together. De'Ami Brown, this is definitely a year that they're looking for some progress. Now I get it. Curtis Samuel, John Dawson, Scary Terry is already a packed wide receiver room, but depth. Sports period. Depth is a good thing because look, as you know, any given Sunday, injuries happen. Scary Terry goes down. Jahan, he missed time last year. Curtis Samuels has injuries. So, he definitely is a guy who's very intriguing for his fan base because look, I mean, he can stretch the field. He's a guy who's a speedster who can definitely stretch the field. So, he's definitely somebody that I want to see progress in training camp and really get some significant minutes. Well, not too significant, but get some decent playing time this season. But real quick before we go, what are three guys that you want to see, kind of like De'Ami Brown? What are three guys that you want to see kind of fight for the job this training camp and take that step forward this year?
oh man. There's so many. Um, wow. Well, I would say a lot of the bubble guys. I mean, because certainly, you can sit there and say, I want to see what Emmanuel Forbes can do. He's going to have a job. So, I want to see what some of our bubble guys. I want to see what Logan Thomas can do. Yeah, I mean, you may say, well, he's going to have a job. Maybe not. I want to see what he can do. Um, Kendall Fuller. Can he fight to stay on the team? and can he excel being moved on the inside? I want to see what he can do. But really, honestly, I want to see what a lot of our guys on the offensive line can do. Some of the guys who have been on this team for a few years now have not really been able to crack into a starting lineup. Stick Charles and guys like that. Um, they've got to be able to take that next step because that offensive line needs help. And so I want to see them excel. Charles Leno. Now, I will say I was probably one of the lone fans who supported him. Maybe it was because his wife was so nice and conversing with us over Twitter and stuff. But um, I really was a very big supporter of him because he had some very big shoes to fill on that left tackle position. It seemed like that was the one thing that this Washington franchise excelled at in the past couple of decades. They always had a Pro Bowl, if not, future Hall of Fame, a left tackle there. Now, they didn't have much of anything else, it felt like, on the team, but that was at least one thing they always did right. Whether if it was Chris Samuel or Trent Williams. And so having to step in and knowing that you are not at that level, but you've got to be able to perform, and you actually are kind of undersized for that. Believe it or not, I can't believe I'm calling Charles Leno undersized, but he was kind of undersized for being a left tackle, and I thought that he held his own okay. I was not expecting him to be this shutdown left tackle that you'll never hear anything about. I just expect him to try to go in and be somewhat, productive with his security, and so I want to see if he can take that next step and try to uh, do what he can to solidify that left tackle position even more. But I agree with you. I think that next year we've got to be able to draft a left tackle. And we're just too used to having top notch talent at that position. Um, so yeah, I mean there's just for me right now. If it's three guys, I don't know. Kendall Fuller, name anybody on the offensive line, and probably Logan Thomas.
Huh. That is intriguing. I'm with you on that one. I think looking at the O line, it's kind of like this. In the Army, we say you train as you fight, right? If looking at this O line, you have a base of a defensive line. Have them push them. Have them really push them. Game speed. You really push them to the parameters, man, and push them to the limit. Because look, they got a tall task this year. Is a weak unit. Now, yeah, I do like the additions of Nick Gates. Andrew Wiley. I think Cosme, I liked him coming out of Texas. Leno, he's one of those moves. He's one of those stories where, sometimes change of scenery is a good thing. Coming over from the Bears, he's played decent, but it's time to go get a franchise left tackle and
Yeah,
left guard. We'll see how Sadiq does, man. But really, what are your expectations for the guy? You know what I mean? It's just we're just hoping that they can play average. So, and you mentioned Emmanuel Forbes, yeah. To me, I mentioned before, man. To me, it's not so much the ball hawking and the ability to get the ball is tackling. Because in NFL, your corners need to tackle. It's not like there used to be where Dion, who he shunned tackling for some reason. Which is weird because before Dion, you had guys like Ronnie Lott in the
yeah,
secondary, man. You know what I mean? So you had guys who could hit in the secondary. And so you had that little era where guys were just, I guess, were too pretty to tackle. I don't want to see that. I like a cornerback who's going to be able to hit a guy because you're that
yeah.
last line of defense, man. You need to be able to hit a guy. So I'm with you. This secondary is definitely another group that I'm intrigued to see how they do. How does Fuller, respond to going in the inside? St. Juice, a lot of eyes are on him. So there's a lot of questions, but mainly on the O line. I think the defense is going to be better than advertised, and I think this offense, man. We were talking about Dalvin Cook, which he visited the Jets, so it looks like I think there's a fit with the Jets. I looked at a lot of comments, and I agree with a lot of you guys. Brian Robinson has proven he can be that guy, but my thing was this: you can never have too many weapons. But You know, so we definitely appreciate everybody who watched that episode. So yeah, a lot of questions and a lot of battles, but you know what? This team is going to be a sleeper in my opinion. So before we roll, Greg, did you have anything else you wanted to cover real quick?
Well, no, I noticed I didn't mention Chase Young
Oh,
because I have all of the confidence in the world. Chase Young is going to be the man this year. He's going to be the man. All of you doubters out there who are saying, "Nah, he was a bust." He's gonna feed this year. Guarantee it. You heard
oh,
it right here.
absolutely. I mean, he's going to have a chip on his shoulder. Then I'm pissed that man off. I mean,
That's right.
decline his option and everything. So, you know, I'm with you. I think Chase is going to respond, man. But it's intriguing. You know, day 2, real quick, I will be at training camp tomorrow and Saturday. So I'm going to try to get all the content I can for everybody. So definitely look forward to that. So, again, appreciate everybody. The season is coming up. Like I said, we are trying to get a concrete schedule during the week, but with preseason and regular season, we will be doing recaps. So we definitely look forward to, because it's going to be a fun season for us, man. So definitely we look forward to football coming up. So again, we definitely appreciate everybody. Like, subscribe, hit the notification button. Definitely notifies you when dope videos like this comes out. And wherever you get your podcast, 5-star review is much appreciated. And on Twitter, definitely follow. What is it
WF
WF Maniacs?
WF Maniacs.
Got
It's
you,
it's
got you.
brand new. We just created it. I just figured it's a lot better to follow an actual brand Twitter than my Twitter. And I'm probably actually going to be getting it off of my Twitter. So if you want to follow me and Brandon, Brandon's got his own personal one, but if you basically want to follow the channel's Twitter, just go to WF Maniacs, and I'll put a link up so you'll know to subscribe.
Definitely check it out. Definitely subscribe. We are talking football year long. So definitely check it out. So again, appreciate everybody. So definitely check you guys next time. Hail to the Commanders and peace. Everybody have a good night. Take care.
Peace.